Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. Today, we are going to cover the hottest cards from Ixalan Lost Caverns, in my opinion, that are going to make the impact on Standard. So, buckle up, Buttercup, because like buttholes, everybody's got one, and here's mine. My opinion, not my. Anyway, point being, probably got demonetized for that one already. So, moving on. Before we get started, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Links in the description to the Patreon if you're feeling froggy, the eBay TCG player store, a couple cards to buy a week or a month, help support the channel, keeps us sponsor free. But the easy way to do it, subscribe to the channel, go like us on Rumble. We're on Rumble now as well. So, without further ado, let's talk about the top 5 cards for Standard and why I think that. So, we're going to start off with an honorable mention. I just couldn't get it squeezed in there. But we have Omni Pakal, the Thousandth Moon. So for a white, red, and 1, you get a legendary creature, Human Soldier. It's a 1/2. Whenever you attack with one or more non-gnome creatures, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on this card. Then create X colorless 1/1 gnome artifact creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. X is the number of +1/+1 counters on this card. The reason why it's an honorable mention, this is very similar to Krinko. However, on Krinko, it was a 1/2. It was a solid color of just 1 red and 2. And it said put a +1/+1 counter on it. And then you make goblins equal to the number equal to its power. So it is by several stretches of the imagination better. This is 2 colors. It starts smaller. You get less because it's a 1/2. Now, it can get 1 from itself because it always has to attack. The benefit to this card, maybe that's different than the other one, is another creature can attack for you that's not a gnome and trigger this card. So that's the bonus to this, but it's also 2 colors. I think that's a little bit too much. So, didn't quite make the cut this time. But if you guys are feeling froggy out there, give it a try. Tell me what you think down below. So, we're going to start off. We have number 5. It's Brites. Everybody needs some Brites, right? The Eagler Pillager. So, Brites here is looking actually pretty sweet. For a red and 2, it's a 3/3 with first strike. Already going to be hard to deal with. A little easy on the removal side, but anything is. It's going to be hard to block it out and creature fight it because it has first strike. And you got 3 abilities here that are all very high class. The first one, create a treasure token. I mean, mana ramp is mana ramp, right? If nothing's on the board and you're getting in for free, you always want to have something you can do to make use of the attack. Second, target creature can't block this turn. If they've got one creature, you just swing and then tell them they can't block if it's bigger than your creature, and you just bolt them every turn. Also phenomenal. Which means they have to have 2 creatures on defense at all times. Thirdly, exile a top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Pseudo card draw. Like, if it's a land, put it into play. If it's not a land and it's a creature, you can, or whatever, you can just play it if you have the mana. If you don't have the mana, and it's a land, and you've already played a land for the turn, first off, don't play a land until you swing with this. Secondly, if you've already got 3 land out, you've played your 4th, you swing with this and rip a land off the top, you probably don't need 5, and you got that land out of the way so you can get a good draw on the next turn. A lot of benefits here. This card's gonna do a lot, I think. With it being legendary, it'll be a little hard to deal with. I mean, you're probably gonna play 3 or 4 of them just because it's gonna die. If it doesn't die, somebody's not playing right. But I think this and all of its 3 abilities are very top tier in a standard environment where it can really abuse mana ramp, non-blocking, and extra / pseudo drawing from the top of your deck. Very sweet, very good card, but still only at number 5. So, moving on, next we have number 4. We have the hulking Raptor. This bad boy. 2 green and 2 for a 5/3 with Ward 2, making it hard to get rid of. Yes, you can abrade it, but it's going to take their whole turn to abrade it. Basically meaning, you lay this on turn 4. If they've used all their mana the previous turn, they have to take a whole turn off to kill this. i.e., 2 green and 2, you get a time walk because they're going to tap it. They're going to get a card. You're going to get a card out of their hand, and they'll be tapped out, and now you get to untap and draw again. So that's already one benefit. Second benefit, if they don't deal with it, at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add 2 green. Literally, you can cast 2 creatures with this. On your turn, if you've got 4 mana, you can lay this for 4. Excuse me. And if it doesn't get dealt with, the next time around, you get 2 extra green. So you've at least got 4. If you don't have a land, who cares? Now you have 6 mana. This is a card that has to be dealt with and can't be left on the board, which I think makes it very powerful, not only in the fact that it has to be dealt with, but because of War 2, it's going to be hard to be dealt with. So I think that's why this card is going to be number 4, especially in a set where dinosaurs are a thing. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, also we got the Dinosaur Elf, who comes out on 1 and lets you cast and will tap for mana to cast dinosaurs. So you can play this on turn 3. Ugh, the disgustingness of it. So, moving on. Next we have number 3. We have Hotty, the Poet of Unity, legendary human warrior bard. So when this enters the battlefield, you get to search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So this is mana ramp in a sense because you always will have a land drop. Next, for 5, you can then flip it over, create 2 3/3 dinosaurs, and then on the next turn, your dinosaurs tap for mana along with anything else in play. Search your library for a dinosaur, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then your dinosaurs all gain double strike and trampled in a turn. It's just terrible the whole way around. But the turn you flip this, you make 2 dinosaurs. The very next turn, you can lay another hotty, and literally go look for another land, put it into your hand so you have your land drop, and then proceed to flip it as well because, yes, this is a legendary creature on this side. It is not legendary on this side. So you can have 2 or 3 of these on this side on different counts, just going ham on your opponent, making this a very powerful green card. Now, of course, you have to flip it with red and white, so you kind of have to play 2 colors. But, I mean, when you search your library for a basic land card, as long as you start with at least 1 forest, you can get the other color. You can have 3 forests, play this, go get a mountain, or go get a plains. Probably gotta be mountain because the dinosaurs, just big lizard, go boom. So that's why I think this one is number 3. Now, number 2, Jade Light Spelunker. That's right, the green fireball with legs / brain geyser. Like, this card is weird on so many levels. Here's what's going to happen, guys. Early game, you can play this for 2. Maybe it comes in as a 2/2 because you have a card on top you want to keep. Or maybe it's just a 1/1 for 2 that lets you draw land off the top of your deck. Also fine. Late game, let's say you draw this. You've got 7 mana. So you cast 1 green and 6. Here's the worst thing that's going to happen. You're going to rip 6 lands off the top of your deck and have a 1/1. You know what that means? Yeah, you wasted a bunch of mana, but you just cleared out 6 draws that would have been a death sentence to you. Here's probably what's going to happen. You're going to find 1 or 2 lands maybe, and then the other 4, you're going to find something that's not a land, and go, oh look, not a land, I'll put a +1/+1. Not a land, +1/+1. So out of the remaining 4, you're going to spend 6 mana to draw 2 cards and then make a 5/5. That doesn't sound so bad, especially when you know you have action on top and lands in your hand. The best thing that's probably going to happen is the land's not going to be on top, and you're literally going to cast this for 6 and have a literal 6/6 creature. And honestly, that may not even be the best. Maybe you want to draw. There's like so much stuff here. This card is amazing. Early game, it's great. Late game, and it's 1 green to start. Like, I mean, it's going to be good in lots of formats. I mean, imagine this in a deck with, oh god, what is it? The 1 green card that says whenever you put a +1/+1 counter on it, put an extra 1 on it. Like, you lay that turn 1, and then on turn 3 you cast this for 2, and you flip it over, 2 counters, flip it again, 2 counters. Like this card is going to be amazing no matter how you slice it. And I think that's why this is going to be the best card at number 2. Now, with that being said, if I think so highly of this card, what possibly could be number 1? Well, you guessed it. It is Molten Collapse. Red and black sorcery. Choose one. If you descend to this turn, you can do both. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Pick one. It's fine. Or destroy target non-creature, non-land, permanent, mana value 1 or less. So all the tokens in Standard that are going to be out there, all like we just saw dinosaur tokens. There's vampire 4/3 demon tokens. There's tons of tokens. It could kill those too. And if something's went to your graveyard this turn, for a black and a red, you can kill a token and a creature, a token and a planeswalker, a creature and a planeswalker. Like, the ability to use this to 2-for-1 your opponent is amazing. This, by far, is probably one of the best. The last time we had a removal this good, it was Dreadbore. Same cost, you killed a creature or a planeswalker. It didn't have the extra ability or the ability to do 2 things at once. Dreadbore sees play in, like, Modern, for God's sakes, and some other formats. So, like, if you don't think this is better than Dreadbore, since it has an extra ability and basically is Dreadbore, it's going to see play. And this is going to replace Dreadbore in every other deck. Because, who knows, maybe those non-land permanents you want to blow up are not creatures. It could happen. You never know. Tons to go over here. But this is the number 1 card for me, for Standard at least. The play in the older formats are just going to be good for it as well. But in Standard, this is going to be premium removal. And I think black-red decks are going to be strong running this. It's a good thing this didn't have green or something in it, because in a Dino deck with a removal like this, it's going to be sickening. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. Until next time, be kind. And I hope to see you across from the game table. I think we'll do Pauper next. Pauper's fun.